SEDAT Consult brings to you the SEDAT HR Conference 2023 in Kumasi, Ghana on October 19th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This year, we are bringing together professionals, industry experts, and business leaders to explore the latest HR trends. Our theme is Transforming HR, Innovation, Technology, and Future Trends. We are honored to have distinguished guests, including Honorable Kingsley Nyako and Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, as well as a lineup of esteemed speakers. Don't miss this enriching experience that will elevate your HR expertise. Admission is free. Contact us at 0244-629-245 or send us mail at patricia.kissy@sedatconsultlimited.com for more information. Sponsorship opportunities are available. SEDAT Consult, your trusted HR partner.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to today's episode of SEDAT HR Digest, where we discuss relevant HR topics and help you to impact your organization positively. Today promises to be exciting like last week, and I'm super excited because today we are going to continue with Personality in Focus, a discussion with our conference speakers. Before I move to introduce our speaker or our guest for today, I'd like to remind you that SEDAT HR Digest is brought to you by SEDAT Consult. You can contact SEDAT Consult on 0244-629245, 0244-629245 for all your HR needs and organizational needs. SEDAT Consult is there to sort you out, and we are proudly supported by Quick Fix Creatives. You can contact them on 055-20-90057, 055-20-90057. All right. Wherever you're watching us from, we want to acknowledge you. And so please feel free, drop your name and your location in the comment section, and I would read it out to duly acknowledge you. We are super excited about you tuning in every Sunday to listen to us. And we are hopeful, and we know that you are doing wonders out of the discussions that we do have on SEDAT HR Digest. I'm ready. Our guest is ready, and I know you are also ready. Today we have, I call her a legend in the HR fraternity. I personally love this woman so much. I mean, anytime you listen to her, you learn a lot from her, and I'm very excited to be hosting her today on SEDAT HR Digest. Our guest today is Dr. Mrs. Irene Stella Ejenim Boateng. She's a consultant, an HR expert, and she also specializes in leadership and development. She's a formal advisor to the Chief Executive of Volta River Authority and also a former Deputy Chief Executive Services for Volta River Authority. She holds a doctorate degree in business administration and a Master of Applied Business Research degree from the Swiss Business School. Today, I'm super excited to introduce to you our guest for today's Personality in Focus, Dr. Mrs. Irene Stella Ejenim Boateng. Hi, Doc.
Hello, Patience.
Welcome to SEDAT HR Digest. We are excited to have you on today's episode.
Thank you very much, Patience. I'm also excited to be here. I really feel honored that I can join, a community of HR experts to just share a few thoughts and learn from each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Our viewers are ready. I am ready, and I know you are ready to share with us your experience and your expertise. All right, so I want to go straight to the discussion, but before we do that, I have Zachary. Zachary, thank you for watching us. Zachary says he's watching us from Kumasi. Prince Odru, thank you for joining us. Please drop your name, your location, and we will acknowledge you. And we want to encourage you to share the link, like, comment on all our social media platforms. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Facebook, and we are on YouTube. Once again, this is Sedat HR Digest, and we are having Personality in Focus with our conference speakers. And today, our guest, and we are honored to have her, Dr. Mrs. Irene Stella Ejeni Mboaten. All right, Doc, so let's go straight to our discussion. Now, we want you to give us, give me, as well as my audience and viewers, a glimpse of your background, your journey into HR, what inspired you to take this career path, and how your decision to move into HR has helped you to move from one level to the other.
Thank you very much, Patience, for that. So I think my name, you've already, introduced me, so everybody knows my name. In terms of just a brief about myself, I've been working for the past 37 years after my first degree. So I graduated with my first degree in 1986. And I've been working since, of course, after 2 years national service. So I've been doing that, and I've worked in several industries over the last 37 years. Basically, I've worked in education, in telecommunication, insurance, energy, and consultancy. So basically, give or take about 5 different industries for the last 37 years. And some have done concurrently. And so I've worked, end-to-end HR. So looking at all the areas in HR. So I've done resourcing, I've done talent management, I've done L&D, rewards, I've done HRBP, employee relations, management labor relations, so union, relations, HR shared services, I've looked at that, and so many. So all the, end-to-end HR services. And besides that, as part of my core duty as director HR, whilst I was in Vodafone, I had to also so combine HR and other areas, call it non-HR areas. So I was also responsible, besides HR, I was responsible for facilities management, property management, health, safety, and well-being, fleet management, internal communication, diversity and inclusion, and a host of others. So basically, this is what I've been doing over the last 37 years. In all this, I always say, by the grace of God, I've risen from a young graduate entering, the world of work to become a deputy chief executive advisor to the chief executive. And so I've been an HR director for Ghana Telecom, for Vodafone Ghana, for Glyco Insurance. So I was a group HR director and a consultant. And then for VRA, I joined VRA as a director HR before I got promoted or appointed to the position of a deputy chief executive services. And then to become an advisor to the chief executive. I think my journey in HR basically was influenced by my strongest desire, which I still have, to teach. I always love, to teach. So teaching has always given me that sense of fulfillment because it gives me the opportunity to meet people, to interact with people, and to see young people grow and to feel very fulfilled that, I have at least contributed to the lives of these young people. And so when at my national service 2 years, I actually taught, and I loved that. So I still have, connections, as it were, with a lot of my students then. But when I moved after the national service, I still wanted to, to get an opportunity to teach. But somehow that didn't happen until I got the opportunity to work in the Ghana Post and Telecommunications Corporation at the time. And so that is when I went into administration, and then I did a couple of, postgraduate programs in administration. And that influenced my decision to say, look, HR was a lot more encompassing. And at that time in our history, so the late 80s, HR was not really the big thing. It was more administration, more personnel management. But I had, due to my postgraduate programs, I'd actually seen the need for an all-encompassing HR. And so I decided to actually veer into HR proper, call it, and combine HR and admin. And so that has been my career up until, being a deputy chief executive, where I had to do other things other than HR as well. So I think that really is a bit about myself and how I got myself into HR.
Wow, interesting. We've just started, and it's already inspiring. And I believe when Doc completed school, some of us, I don't know where we were, but all the same, we are happy to have come to meet you. All right. So before I move to my next question for Doc, I see Matilda Tenkran. Matilda, thank you for watching us from Akosombo. Baba Bruce, thank you. Carol. Okay, Baba, thank you so much for Caroline from watching us from Accra. Portia, thank you. Judith, I see you. Alice, thank you. Kofi, we are grateful. Thank you so much. Keep dropping your name and your location. All right, let me go back to Doc. So considering your extensive experience, I mean, when you were telling us, giving us a brief about your journey, so I was like, oh, I can just imagine what she's gone through and all that. Considering all these extensive experience that you have, what do you see as the most significant challenges and opportunities currently facing the HR profession or the HR professionals and organizations in our rapidly changing organizations and the rapid changing world? I mean, what do you see as the challenges and opportunities for the current HR practitioner?
Right. Okay, thank you so much. So I think straight to the point, we are talking about the current HR practitioner. But, if I want to just take you maybe several years back, I mean, in the days of old, when the biggest issue that I find today, or the biggest challenge that I find today, didn't really seem to be a challenge, because a lot of opportunities were available, and people went into roles sometimes not even very fully prepared, but the opportunities were there and to be trained and all that. But today, I think that the biggest problem I see, it's something that is not new to any HR person, I believe, and that is, talent acquisition. Somebody will ask why that is the biggest challenge. It's the biggest challenge because the world today, organizations today, we are not, in the space where you are looking at equipment and machinery and all that, because the world has come to the point where just off the shelf, you can get some of these equipment to buy. I mean, off the shelf, you can get all the technology to support whatever you want to do. But really getting the right people at the right time to fit into your right culture is a very key challenge that a lot of organizations are facing. It's not just about having people, it's about having the right talent, and not just even about the talents who have certificates all over, but it's about talents with the right positive attitude. It's about people who are fit for purpose. It's about people who are fit for the future and who are ready to give their all. And so attitude plays a key role in attracting the right talent. So I think that really is one of the key things, that we need to appreciate as a challenge. The war on talent, or the talent war, is still ongoing. Everybody is going after basically the same kind of talent that are in the pool. And so, whilst you poach from here, others are poaching behind you, and then you kind of go around in the circles. It is important that, we try to find a remedy to this situation by actually imparting and growing people to be able to take their rightful place as talent in the organizations that we find today. And so that will be a first challenge, in the HR space today. The other one, I think, that is managing remotely. COVID has come to teach us something, that whether we like it or not, a time comes when, as HR people, we need to be strategic and we need to move away from the status quo and from, the traditional way of doing things. And COVID taught us so beautifully, whether we liked it or not. It said, this is me, and just manage your organizations without face-to-face interactions. And so remote working or managing people remotely is a very, very key challenge that a lot of HR people are facing today. The reason being that as HR people, we needed to actually bring ourselves to speed to be able to manage people who were working remotely. How do you supervise them? What kind of resources do you make available to them? How do you evaluate what they do? And how do you ensure that they are even in the right state of mind to be able to deliver for your organization? And again, when COVID left us, it became even a lot more difficult, because now almost every organization has accepted the fact that hybrid working is the way to go. So whilst you are managing some people in person, you are managing others remotely. And so that becomes another challenge, making sure that people are productive wherever they find themselves or however they want to work. Flexi working hours and so many other concepts have come in, and we need to, pick up these very fast as HR people. So that becomes another challenge. I think the other challenge is how we upskill and reskill people. So what and how are we doing it? How are we able to use, technology to be able to determine what kind of skill gaps we have, what is available within, what is available without, and how do we manage, to get the right people to be upskilled, and to be retooled to be able to deliver for us. And so when it comes to the area of resourcing, in as much as has been one of the oldest, areas of HR, it still is a challenge, because people need to understand the basics and the strategies that, we can use to to scale our organizations and scale our people. So whether we want to use a strategy of building internal people to take over, or we are using the strategy of, buying the talent externally to bring into our organizations, or borrowing, the talent for a fixed period. So depending on what our strategy is, how do we ensure that we make these various strategies available and for our organizations? And so that becomes another challenge that HR people face. And then promoting diversity and inclusion. I mean, it's one area that we talk about, but as HR people, it is still a challenge, for people to actually try and ensure that they are looking at the areas within the population and making sure that the representation that we have in our organizations are a reflection of what we have now, not only globally, not only locally, but globally as well. I mean, in spite of these challenges, there are still some, opportunities that we can have. And I think the first opportunity that comes to us very handy as HR people is the leveraging on technology, and automated systems, because that makes our work a lot easier. It helps us whilst we are talking about managing people remotely, it helps us to do that management a lot more effectively. It helps us, to get the right results or near right results. And it also gives us the opportunity to be able to, create a lot more interaction with people, whether virtually or in person, and to be able to get analysis that supports management decision, so that now HR decision making does not become subjective, but it's actually evidence-based because of the use of technology that we leverage on. And so these are maybe some of the challenges as well as advantages or opportunities that are available for us today as HR personalities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc. The war of talent acquisition is still ongoing, and that is a challenge Doc has shared with us. She also mentioned managing people remotely, upscaling and rescaling people, and promoting diversity and inclusion. These are some of the challenges that the current HR practitioner is facing. And then Doc mentioned that for opportunities, I mean, the first thing she spoke about is the leveraging on technology and automation. I mean, it will help you to be efficient as an HR person. I know you are jotting down a lot of things. If you want us to recommend HR systems for you to help you to be efficient, you can contact Sedat Consults and you will be sorted. Right, Doc. So you are one person that is being recognized as a legend in the HR fraternity. And a lot of us, especially we, the young practitioners, we admire you so much. Sometimes when I see your pictures with the awards, I ask myself that, hey, Mami on JB my hand. And I just tell myself that, won't Dog leave some of the awards for some of us to come? I mean, and anytime I see her picture, she's gone for one award or the other. And with all these experiences and how we view you we see you in the industry or in the community, how influential you are in the community, we want to know how this has shaped your career, and how did it impacted your career when you were in active service?
So I think that it has been a humbling experience. Humbling in the fact that I believe I'm just a very ordinary person like any other. And so anytime there's an opportunity to learn, I do not let it go waste. I make sure that I am learning, not just the academics, but, professionally. I also, make sure that I'm networking appropriately, because you always learn from one another. And it's important for us to understand that networking is a social, it's a social capital that you have. And, your network, as I keep saying, is your net worth. You need to make sure that you're actually learning from one another, not always just from the classroom or from the books, but even the experiences that others will share with you are so strong that you can always, learn from that. Again, as I said from the beginning when I was introducing myself, I love teaching. And I always believe that one way of learning is teaching others what you know. Because I believe that when you offload what you know, you create room enough to accept more and to fail. And then you can offload. And so I like to teach, and by that, I learn by teaching, basically. And so mentoring, coaching, and all that are concepts that I do not, take for granted. If I have to mentor, as I keep mentoring people, it's an opportunity for me to also learn. And then, when I talk about even the networking, the mentoring, and all sorts of things, and how those have impacted my career, again, it's not just, being horizontal or just but being everything, going up vertically to network with people, and then, horizontally, people on that same skill as yourself, learning from their experiences, and those that are actually in the level, let's say, below you, because they have so much to share. And as young people, they have a lot that they need to learn from us. And so for me, one thing that has again influenced me is the fact that I feel that because others want to learn from me, because others, have all kinds of, strong accolades, I cannot fail them. I cannot. And so I must continuously learn, to gather more so that I can give more, learn from them also. And together we can just, make the journey. And so those are the things that influence me to keep learning and to keep, influencing as much as I can. And that also means that your very personality, the brand, the gravitas that you have, should always be a matter of importance to you, because others may not, for some reason, have the opportunity to get even closer. But from afar, what are they seeing? What kind of personality brand have you created and building? And how do they learn from that, even from afar? And so all that actually influenced me to keep quite a steady, personality to be able to help others and influence them. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. What kind of brand personality are you building? Take the opportunity to learn whenever it comes your way. Doc said she was learning both academically and professionally. So you also you don't want to keep yourself at one side. Be a balanced HR practitioner like Doc. Whilst you are learning in the academia area, you are also doing it professionally. And one of the things she said was that she networked. And that is the main reason why you don't want to take yourself out of the upcoming HR conference in Kumasi. If you live in and around Kumasi, make your way to Kumasi. Let's network. Let's learn together from these experts. And you remember, Doc says she loves to teach, and so she's going to teach us a lot. She's going to educate us a lot at the conference. Please, if you haven't registered, get the link. It's all over on our social media platform. If you're on our WhatsApp platforms, the link is there. Click on it, register, and let's meet, let's network, let's learn. This is an opportunity that we have to take good use and make good use of. Thank you very much, Doc. It's getting interesting and exciting. I wish we would never end this, because from this short minutes, for the things you've offloaded, maybe some of us will come with a basket for more. All right. So the theme for this, the maiden conference of SEDAT HR Consult, is transforming HR, innovation, technology, and future trends. How do you foresee the role of technology and innovation influencing the future of HR experts?
Thank you once again. And I think it goes without saying that we are in the tech world today. And whether you are an HR person or whoever you are, you cannot afford, to stay out of that tech zone. And that is actually the global zone. And so for HR people, technology is key for us, especially as we embark on this HR transformation journey. And it is key because now, if we have the right technology, if it comes to performance management, it comes to, resourcing, how you manage your talent, everything else that we know end-to-end HR. I mean, that helps you to be a lot more efficient. You are able to work more conscientiously, timeously, and you are able to deliver accurate results and outcomes. Because unlike before, when a lot of things will have to go through the manual system, you have to pick a whole file, that is like this, to read, and before you can make a certain judgment. Now, by a click of the button, you have the full profile of the individual. Whatever, I mean, it comes to learning and development, area, you'll be able through technology to tell what kind of gaps that out of performance management, platform, What kind of gaps did you identify about this individual? What kind of training will actually support and fix those gaps? And you are able to tell whether those training have been effected or not, just based on, systems that we have. And I think that one key area that HR people will benefit from in terms of technology and in our transformation is how we even take decisions. Basically, decision making today cannot wait for you. It cannot wait for anyone. Management is taking the decisions like this, and the changing nature of our life today. You need to have evidence-based decisions. You need to take decisions that have actually gone through some analysis. And so technology helps us to be a lot more analytical. As HR people, when we want approval for certain things for our employees and all that, sometimes, of course, before technology, you are likely to go more 60% or 70% emotional, subjective. We think that if we did this, productivity will increase. And it's because, I feel that the gut feeling is always good, but it doesn't work, all the time. Technology will tell HR that, look, out of this, productivity has been, based on this analysis, we think that this is happening, that is not happening. This is how, the figures that we have. And as I said, when the figures speak, even the gods are silent. And so when you have a position to management where really you are giving data to support whatever, business case you are making, you are likely to get the hearing and the buy-in of people who are at the executive level taking decisions. One quick one I'll just add. I mean, sometimes some of the things that as HR people we throw out there to executive and always want approval, and we throw our hands in despair when the approval is not coming. It's just for the fact that we think some nice to have things for the organization must happen. Let's look at. I always look at like a daycare. Really, really nice to have. But if you want to position your paper without giving a certain age, the age profile of the organization, making a certain analysis to say that about 50% of our employees, maybe the females, or maybe even both men and women, are within the reproductive, age bracket. And for that reason, and that a lot of them are going to have, babies, have young children, young families, and that in itself has some kind of implication on work-life balance, on what they produce, their thinking, and the fact that, my child has this issue, etc. And therefore, if we think that based on that and this analysis back and forth, we think that if we have a daycare, proximity, the whole emotional connection, young parents giving their very best to the organization and producing, because they know that just, in 5 minutes, if they have to attend to their child, they can just walk down there and that facility is available and all that. This help with decision making, as against the fact that, without any system, without any technology that is helping us with, analysis, HR analytics, data-driven decisions, we just say that we think everybody is doing this. And you see, it is very good that we do it because they are young people. What analysis have you made? What figures are you churning out? And how do you use those figures to convince the decision makers to say that, yes, we think that there is some reasoning behind what you are doing? And so technology in our transformation journey for HR people, it's just, we cannot overemphasize its importance. So that is why I think that this theme by Sedat, you couldn't have chosen a better team for a time like this for us in HR.
We couldn't have chosen a better team for a time like this for us in HR. If you haven't registered right while the discussion is going on, the link has been posted in the comment section. Please click on it and register. And I mean, the kind of wisdom we are receiving this afternoon from Doc is amazing, and I believe she's going to share more with us at the conference. And so once again, it's happening on the 19th of October at Kumasi. If you live in and around Kumasi, or even if you are in Accra, please, and you can make your way to Kumasi, please do so. But we are working on online sessions so that those of you who will not be able to join, you'll be able to do that. We pray we are successful with that. But until then, please register and let's meet Doc on the 19th of October at Kumasi for the Maiden Sadat HR conference. All right, so let me go to the comment box. Let me read some few comments out, and we would continue with our discussion with our guest for today. Why? So Portia, thank you for watching us from 2025, Tema. Emmanuel Woyome, hi, Emma, I see you. Thank you for watching. Kofi says, it's always amazing to listen to Dr. Irene Stella. She is a great asset to our country, and I absolutely agree with you, Kofi. Christabel, thank you for watching us from Nigeria. Thank you so much, Christabel. Alice says, I like the caliber of resource persons on this series. Thank you so much. And Alice, if you haven't registered, please register, because the coming weeks we will be presenting you with all our speakers for the conference. Someone says that she is loaded, pow. I tell you, she's really loaded. Josephine, thank you for watching us from Takrade. Selena, thank you for watching us from Cape Coast. Rose, we see you from Asin Fosu. Greetings to all the people at Asin Fosu. Cynthia, thank you for watching. Mariam, thank you. Edie, thank you. Chumesi, thank you. Chumesi says that learning a lot. Thank you, madam. I'm equally learning here. Thank you very much, Chumesi. All right, so I have Michael Chu. Michael says, whoa, that I cannot fail those who want to learn from me, got me smiling. And she has a lot to share with us. She can't afford to fail us, to fail you and I, and that is very inspiring to hear from Doc. Abubakar Kwame Esuman. I salute senior. I see you. Abubakar says, great staff, Doc. Always exceptional presentation. Thank you, Doc. And we have the registration link shared. Please click on it. Register if you haven't. And trust me, this conference promises to be something else. It's going to be something else. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to network, and we're going to, arm ourselves to come and learn and impact our organizations. I see sisters, thank you so much for watching us from Nkoko. Okay, so he says, I'm Richmond Parker, Ejiso Ashanti. Richmond, thank you. We hope to see you at the conference. Helen says, she says, I really admire you, madam. I want to apply to be one of your mentees. Please come to the conference. She will have time for you there, and we can sort this out. Mauto says, thank you, Doc, for sharing these nuggets with us. All right, so she comes again. Hearing comes again and says, great delivery, madam. Thank you very much. Great comments coming in from all our social media platforms. All right, so we would take a quick break. When we come back, we would continue with our discussion with our guest, Dr. Mrs. Irene Stella Ejenim Boateng, a speaker at our upcoming conference at Kumasi. Once again, if you haven't registered, please, the link is in the comment box. Don't wait till tomorrow. Do it right now. Register. Let's come learn from our speakers. Thank you. We'll meet you right after our break.
Sedat Consult invites you to the Sedat HR Conference 2023 in Kumasi, Ghana on October 19th. This event unites professionals industry experts, and business leaders to explore cutting-edge HR trends. Our theme is transforming HR, innovation, technology, and future trends, with distinguished guests and top-tier speakers from the HR fraternity. Admission is free. Contact us on 0244 629 245 or register at www.hrconference.sedatconsultlimited.com. Sponsorship opportunities await. Sedat Consult, your trusted HR partner.
Right, welcome back from the break. We are having an insightful discussion with one of the speakers of our maiden HR conference happening on the 19th of October at Kumasi. If you live in and around Kumasi, or you are in Accra, you want to take some days off to come and learn and network, this is the right time to do that. Please click on the link, register, and you would be told what to do next, right? So before we continue our discussion with our guest for today, the HR conference sponsorship is still open. If you are an individual or an organization, you want to come in to sponsor us, please feel free. Our contact is on our flyer, it's on our on all our social media platforms, or you can also type, just go on Google and type Sedat HR Consult, and you would get our contact and get in touch with us. It's a free program. We are not taking anything. We are not charging anything. Sedat, we pride in helping people to learn more and to impact more. So this is a free conference. You are not paying anything. All we need you to do is to come with your I was going to say come with your body. Of course, your body will be there, but come prepared, come ready to learn from our resource persons. And we want to acknowledge the sponsors that have come in to give us a helping hand in this conference. We have Amefiman Rural Bank coming in to support us. If you are looking for the #1 rural bank to do business with, please look no further. It's Amefiman Rural Bank, and they have products such as personal loans. You can deposit with them, you can save, do investments with them. They have a lot of services, and please get in touch with them. You can reach them on 020-20-30061 or 020-20-30055. I take it again, 020-20-30061, 020-20-30055, and that is the contact of Amefiman Rural Bank. Please get in touch with them for all your banking issues. They will sort you out. If you are looking for a financial institution to come and educate your staff, come and educate the people you work with about financial issues, please get in touch with them. They will get you an expert to come and do that for you. And again, we have Global Leadership Group, and they are into leadership and management programs, leadership and management training, consultancy services. And you can contact them on 0242-503518, 0242-503518. Please get in touch with Global Leadership Group for all your leadership and management consultancy, and they will help you out. Again, we have Uracare Advanced Diagnostics and Heart Center. If you are looking for a healthcare organization to help you out, please contact them. They are into general health services, they provide pain clinic, they are into infusion lounge, electromuscle stimulation. Please contact them. They do a lot of things. I see a tall list. All right, so contact them. You can find them in North Naboni, Accra, and you can reach them on 050-080-9024, 050-080 9024, and that is Euracare Health Center. Get in touch with them and they will sort you out as far as your health is concerned. We are still discussing having a chat with Dr. Irene Stella Ejenim Boateng, one of our resource persons for our upcoming meeting HR conference happening on the 19th of October. So I want to go straight to Doc, and I have an interesting question here for Doc. So all right, so Doc, please, can you bring Doc online for me? Right. Thank you. Thank you. So we want to find out from you in the various organizations that you have worked with or you have been with, can you highlight an instance where innovative HR strategies led to a substantial positive impact? What were the key takeaways from those experiences? And I can see Doc smiling already.
Oh, okay. So thank you, Patience. You can imagine that 37 years means that there will be a lot of examples. But for the sake of time, let me just run you through one that I still look at and I kind of get fulfilled, in the sense that it was one most difficult, challenging situations that I found myself in. But by the grace of God, by the reading, by the thinking around, and all the the HR strategies that we have learned, I was able to, by God's grace, to lead, to manage this quite smoothly, as far as we could. And that, for those of you who are let's say old enough, you remember Ghana Telecom, and the time when Vodafone had to take over majority shareholding in Ghana Telecom. So here was Ghana Telecom, that was 100% owned state organization, and Vodafone bought 70% of it. And at that time, looking at the business direction, that as a multinational, we needed to, to go on that journey. And considering the fact that at the time there were about maybe about 4 or 5 telecom operators in the country, all of them at that time, going mobile. And then we started mobile in quite late. But whilst they were doing very well profit-wise and market share and all that, we were quite a weak number 4, operator. Meanwhile, our staff population was about double the population of the entire sector put together. Wow. So that in itself tells you that you are carrying a huge load of, expenditure, but your market share was so minimal. And obviously, it wouldn't make a good business, decision to continue on that trajectory. And again, bringing in a multinational where business orientation, customer orientation, profit making, and time consciousness, efficiency, and all those come together to drive the business agenda. We needed to do something. And as the director of HR at the time, I had to, give the executive a position paper on how we could manage a restructuring, a reorganization of the organization as quickly as we could. And mind you, here was a place where people had spent all their working lives, 40 years, 30 years, and all that. And you needed to make this very strategic, life-changing, that decision. But what did I have to do? I started putting on my HR strategic, cap, to say that. So I positioned the organization as, this is the situation that we are in. Got all the stakeholders, did a stakeholder mapping. And in the stakeholder mapping, tried to look at what authority each stakeholder had, what interest each stakeholder had, and how you'll be able to, approach and work with them based on their interest and their authority. And these stakeholders were both internal and external, because Ghana Telecom was a national asset. And so having done that, there's not much time, so I'll just quickly run through, how I managed that situation. So having done that and gotten the stakeholders to appreciate, the stakeholders included employees. And this, mind you, this was in a heavily unionized environment. And the stakeholders included our employees. So letting them understand and appreciate the financial position, the market share, and the other dynamics that we're in, we're better off trying to prune and to look at situations that will make us agile, lean, but efficient, to be able to continue, on that journey, as against, continuing with everything the way the status quo, and then running into a situation where everybody will be a loser. And so if you position it this way, the situation is that it became more of a business decision than just the fact that a new buyer had come in and just wanted to get rid of everyone. Anyway, having done that, we tried to also do something that was also quite strategic. So we said that, assuming, now that you have informed employees, you've informed other stakeholders, we said, okay, assuming that every employee was perhaps going to exit, how much was each employee going to go home with? Because we had a formula to calculate. So I got a very confidential person that I was working with, that team, to just put that together for every single individual, including myself and everybody else, every management person to the last person. And then we went out with the communication to say, look, we know how much, or we've calculated how much every individual is going to take in the event that you decide to want to take a package and, walk away and do something else. That in itself became very attractive for people to want to know. Assuming I want to take that decision, what is it? And it was done confidentially. So you just, get into HR, speak about what you want to know, and your figure is giving you. And people started thinking, if I have this figure, and now, it's going to be a lot more performance-based, a lot more target-oriented and all that, would I want to continue, or I would want to think, about something? And so that we saw, and then started feeling the influence that decision, that strategic, initiative was actually playing on people. And so then we said, having looked at it, and everybody having seen what figure it is that you may want to go with, we are throwing out a voluntary package, a voluntary opportunity for people who wanted to. And I tell you that it was quite a success. Even though that was successful, we still needed to do some compulsory as well. Over 2 years, we managed to do an exercise that got a lot of people putting themselves forward to actually take a package and then to walk, out to do something else. This would have been a huge, disaster. I know that there was a little noise, but, considering the fact that out of about 4,200 employees, by the time we finished the exercise in 2 years, I think give or take close to about 3,000 had taken either voluntary or, based on our new structure, had been asked to exit, and everybody had been given a package that was ready on the day that you had to leave. And one interesting initiative within that period that we also came up with was the fact that we started what we call the Transition Support Program. This was one of the biggest people transformations that was happening in Ghana. And so, honestly, there was not much to learn from. But the Transition Support Program was where everybody who had put himself or herself up, whether voluntary or otherwise, you were put in a conference, basically. And then we got people from the banks, investment bankers, entrepreneurs, psychologists, those in the HR space who could help people write their CVs and all that. And then we took them through it so that people knew what they could do with the monies that they had. whether I want to go and run my own business and become an employer myself, whether I wanted to, invest this because I'm not sure what I want to go, whether I want to rebrand my CV so that I can, take this money and still get another job. And very importantly was a psychologist, where people, because we knew that people may wake up the next day and we want to walk that same path, drive that same path, because you forget that, you exited yesterday, because for the last 40, 30 years, that has been your journey. And so the psychologist also helped to prepare the minds of people. And by the time this whole exercise, was done, there was, call it, a very close to almost perfect transition, a smooth transition from Vodafone, from Ghana Telecom into Vodafone, which then started, in a more, multinational way. And so I think this is one of the key areas that I think that using HR initiatives and getting, some strategies on board really supported me in leading that exercise. I can assure you 80% of my time during those years, I was spending them, in the offices and in meetings with stakeholders, with the media and all that, because you always needed to tell the story. And I tell you that virtually everyone who left in that restructuring period went out with something good in their hands. Most of them are in, other good jobs now. Some of them became entrepreneurs, employing other people today. Some became business people, and some invested their monies because they had just a year or two to retire. And a whole lot of, opportunities came. And I had people who would come to me and say, that was really a good one. And I think for me, the initiatives that we drove that period, I can't forget about that experience.
It was a very tough decision, but because of the good strategies that were put in place, good innovative HR strategies that were put in place, people left okay, people are now working. And I believe it's a joy when Doc sees people coming to, I used to work with you and now I'm here. I believe it will be very fulfilling, because
you're absolutely right.
a good strategy has impacted positively. Wow. Now, Doc, many HR practitioners or professionals are key to understand how to navigate the digital transformation in HR. What advice would you offer to HR leaders and practitioners on successfully integrating technology and embracing change?
Okay. So again, it is good for you to start off with your vision. What is your whole, vision for HR in a changing environment, in a customer-centric, working environment, in a more rapid, technologically advanced kind of environment? You need to have a vision for HR. And so when you have that clear vision, you then set out your milestones, and your vision should be realistic enough over a certain period of time. And the milestones actually help you to take each activity like a chunk, work through it before you are able to move to the next, so that even if you have to go along with some failures, they will not be massive failures, because you have them in blocks and in chunks. So when you have your vision well set out, make sure that you get the right team. And that is where it's important that your team does not just become people who are just around, but again, utilize the HR strategy of resourcing. Either I'm building the internal people because I have the luxury of time to do that, or I have to go out there and quickly start buying plug and play, ready to run, people. And of course, if I'm doing that, let me know that I'm going to pay a lot upfront to be able to get them, or maybe to borrow the skill by using consultants or using, fixed term contracts, etc., to get my vision, to run. whilst doing that, it's important that you continue to build, assuming you didn't even have the internal capacity, you continue to build that internal capacity, because they are your lifeline and they will actually be there, for that long period. And so when you have done that, then you should get the buy-in of leadership. You cannot transform the organization, whether technologically or whichever way, without the buy-in and the total commitment of your leadership. And it should not just be a verbal commitment, but it should be a commitment that actually it's actionable, that people can see. And you yourself as an HR person, you can see. You need to create a forum where employees and all other stakeholders can give you feedback. And based on that feedback, you work through what you got right, what you got wrong, and fix it, what you got right, and consolidate that. And then you need to provide training support for your people as well. And in providing the training support, you need to understand the skill gaps. So you have to do a skill audit to know what is it that is available in the organization. And you try to juxtapose that with what your vision is as HR, and the organizational vision, because your vision as an HR would definitely have been, drawn out of the organizational vision. And so what are the gaps that will actually need to be fixed? And so that your training is following a certain structure. You need to build a resilient workforce, a workforce that has some positivity in mind, knowing that they have a culture. So you build a culture of positive, that has a positive nature, a culture where people feel that we want to belong. Even if it's not the best today, we can put our efforts together and make it the best place. So you use technology, at the same time you use people, because I believe that technology rules the world, but it is people who make it happen. And therefore, you cannot use just technology without, using the people to appreciate why these systems need to be in place, and then let them have, that positive mindset towards it. And so you need to start inculcating a mindset of creativity and innovation, where people can just get out of the box, people can, walk out of the status quo. And I always say that allow people, to bend the rule without breaking it, such that they can actually feel that there is some room for them, to operate and to breathe. And that in itself will help you to navigate your way through the journey and perhaps come to that desirable outcome. And let evaluation not elude you at any point, because your vision is broken in chunks, and you have to actually create activities that work towards those milestones. You are able to evaluate yourself from time to time and not wait till end of vision period before you ask yourself, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? That will be an after party conversation. But when you do it on time and then speedily without compromising on quality, then you are able to get desired results, and that helps you to flow through the changing world that we have ourselves in now. Thank you.
Wow, very insightful. We are learning a lot from you, Doc. Use technology, but also use people, because it doesn't matter the technology you have in place. It is people that would operate it for you, and also get management and get buy-in from all your stakeholders. Train people, inculcate a mindset of positive attitude in the people you work with. Now, Doc, mentorship and continuous learning are critical in HR. Have you how have you nurtured your own professional growth? And what recommendations do you have for aspiring HR professionals seeking to advance their careers and stay relevant in the field?
Okay, so the issue of mentorship is so important. But sometimes I feel that for people, a lot of people, is becoming just like a buzzword. It's becoming something like, it's just nice to say that's my mentor, or that sort of thing. But I think that the whole mentorship strategy, it's a key element if you want to advance your career. And it should not just be admiring somebody from afar I mean, that is okay. You can learn, what you see, you can admire what you see and perhaps pick some nuggets. But actually, real mentorship in career development is about having structured, disciplined way of being helped, maybe in quote, to arrive at your aspirations. And so mentorship has actually been something that I have been very, very interested in mentoring people on the job, outside of the job, and building long-lasting relationship through mentoring. And so if you're an HR person who wants to advance your career, you need to be disciplined enough to go through a good mentoring process. Mentorship is not just about somebody you admire for a reason other than what can help with fixing your gap. And I'm saying this to mean that before you get into a mentorship relationship, you need to assess yourself. And I always call it self-SWOT. You actually need to do your self-SWOT in all honesty. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What opportunities are available and what are the threats? So when I have done that, or you have done that as an individual, it means that, yes, I know these are the gaps I have. Looking at perhaps other more experienced people that I come across, that I'm in a particular network with, etc., who can help me to link up with any one of them who has what I don't have, basically, and therefore can help me to fix those gaps. Because mentorship relationship is about growing and developing you to be better than what when it was before the relationship started. And so you need somebody who can help you with that gap. And mentorship relationship is a very time consuming relationship. And so each party, whether the mentor or the mentee, both of you need to be committed to it. There are times that you may fall, but yeah, you need to be very committed. You need to have confidentiality as one of your hallmarks, both parties, because it's about sharing your life, your very life, with everybody. And so you need to build on these things, because especially when it comes to areas of career, your mentors are going to be there even when the relationship is formally, call it, over. They are always there as a sounding board for you. You are able to bounce things off them. They're able to help you to say, well, this is how you can navigate through this. This is how you can deal with people of this nature, or this kind of difficult decision. And sometimes they'll tell you, look, I went through this same kind of challenge at that time. This is how I did it. Or maybe I even failed in it, in trying to handle it. But later I got somebody to help me, so I can share that with you. And so mentorship becomes a sure way of actually supporting your career and advancing your career. But if you don't show commitment, if you do not, come across as somebody who is disciplined with the right attitude and ready for it, you may just, kind of touch and go. And that in itself will not give you a good reputation when you want to get the right mentors.
Wow, thank you very much, Doc. Be disciplined to go through the mentorship program. Do self-SWOT to help you identify the mentor that will help you bridge your gap, and make sure that you build confidentiality, because you are going to share your life out there with people. Very insightful. Time is not on our side, and so I'll ask my last question, and then we would end the discussion for today's episode. Once again, there's a Sadat HR Digest, and we are having personality in focus. Our resource person is Dr. Mrs. Irene Stella Ejenimboatin, one of the resource persons or guest speakers for our Maiden HR conference happening on the 19th of October at Kumasi. All right, so Doc, as we build anticipation for the Sadat HR conference, what message or insight would you like to share with our audience, especially those planning to attend the event? What should we expect?
So I would want to urge everyone, as far as possible, to make it to Kumasi. You see, it is important for us to understand that as a people, our culture, It's about communal social living.
Mm.
Virtual activities, virtual programs, etc., are helpful, but they are just convenient. But in terms of getting better outcomes, I always believe that in person is always great. Relationship building starts from, me seeing you. Your body language itself gives me the opportunity to know how we really, as we sit here, I mean, yeah, we are doing it. I'm sure that you are getting a few things, but I can assure you that I haven't seen your faces, and it saddens me. So I am going to be in Kumasi, and I want you to be there. Sedat has proven beyond any reasonable doubt that professionalism and efficiency are pillars that has actually been their hallmark. And I want to see everybody there. There's so much that we have to discuss. You look at the lineup of speakers, each one of them, and I know all of them, and I know, the caliber of people. And so you need to be there. We are going to talk about, technology. We are going to go talk about transformation. Remember that, as I said, for instance, in one of my organizations that I worked with, of course, I mean, the multinational Vodafone. Let's agree that there's a policy that becomes a universal policy that we have to apply. Whereas my colleague, maybe in another jurisdiction, may decide that, yeah, this is the new policy. I put it on the intranet and all my employees will read and appreciate. I will want to go to the extent of, apart from putting it on the intranet, I want to visit, the locations of employees, sit down with them, have conversations with them, give them the opportunity face to face to actually read your body language and be able to get understanding of what you are doing or what you want them to do. And so for me, I'll say that the program, the conference is going to be a great one. Kumasi is far, but it's not far. And so whether you are in Accra, in Takoradi, in the northern sector, Eastern Volta, wherever, I mean, let's, as we say, all roads lead to Kumasi on the 19th. And I'm sure that we will have a good, value for the time that we would have spent, for any, financial that we would have, kind of spent there, because you will get a better insight, better interaction with the people who will be there, and you'll be able to build a better network, a network that can put a name to the face, and a network that can remember the face when the name is mentioned. So that is what I will want, leave with our participants, and encourage everybody to be part of this conference, because I can see it as a mega conference. Thank you.
I can see it as a mega conference, says Dr. Irene Stella Ejeni-Mboateng. Kumasi is far, but it's not far. Please make your way there. Technology is good, but as Doc said, when you come in person, the feeling is different. She will see your face. You can go and greet her and say, "Hi, Doc." I mean, when you are on the internet, all you can do is type for us like you are doing. So let's meet on the 19th of October. It's good. It promises to be great. And like Doc has said, it's a great event. It's going to be massive. We're going to learn a lot. We are going to network. We know, in fact, we will learn and have fun at the same time. It's not going to be a boring conference at all. It won't be boring. So please make a way. I mean, if you haven't applied for your leave, October is just by the corner. Please apply, go and apply so your boss can approve for you, so you can make your way to Kumasi. I'm going to be there, and I'll be very glad to meet you. Phyllis, thank you so much for joining us. Edith, thank you. Edith says, Amen, would be glad to have the link. Thanks in advance. So we have the link shared in the comment section. Please click on it to register. We will give you further information to the conference, and we want to say a very big thank you to all of you for joining in today's episode. Before we say goodbye, we want to hear the final. I'm sure Doc has said, or when I said what do we expect, but we still want to get final words from Doc, and we would close for today.
Yeah, in terms of final words, I'll just say that for my HR, fraternity, you are actually the gatekeepers of your organizations. You are the go-to people for both leadership and the rest of the employees. You are the people who speak and everybody thinks is the gospel. And so we need to always be ahead of everything. We need to speak the language of our businesses. We need to be technologically savvy. We need to use systems and technology to create decision making and to create analytics that will really help us to smoothen the path for us, especially when we need all the approvals to do the things we need to do. As HR people, don't let us just have the title of HR without networking with our professional colleagues. All of us are there, and every time that the opportunity comes, let us create that, moment of truth where we will meet, where we'll be able to, share ideas so we can learn from each other. We want the profession to be an admired profession, a profession that cannot be done away with by any institution, a profession that will not be just a walkover, but a profession that will have the gravitas, a profession with professionals who actually understand what they are doing and will be able to give the necessary strategic support and inculcate the right discipline and the right culture in the people, so that our organizations will be more profitable and will be able to also arrive at their vision, their strategic goals, and all of us will then have, happy environments to work in. And our absence will actually, echo our legacy, and our presence will generate the conversation at any point in time. Thank you very much.
Our absence will echo our legacy, and our presence will generate our conversation. If you're an HR person out there, like Doc has said, you need to be technologically savvy. You are the gateway in your organization. And remember, Doc said, when you speak, people think or take it as the gospel. You don't want to be the one giving fake gospel. So please make your way to the conference, learn more about how to give good gospel messages to the people you work with. And I believe so strongly that you would be positively impacted. Thank you so much once again for joining us for today's episode. This is HR Sedat HR Digest, brought to us by Sedat Consult and supported by Quick Fix Creatives. We will be coming your way next week with another episode of Personality in Focus. We are bringing you one of our guest speakers for the conference, and you don't want to miss next week's episode. It promises to be super exciting like this week. Thank you so much for joining us. We will meet you next week. Have a good weekend and have a great week. Today is the last day of the weekend. Please make the good use of it. Enjoy it and prepare yourself for next week, and make sure that you achieve something great in your coming week. Thank you so much. See you next week. Have a good evening.
Sedat Consult brings to you the Sedat HR Conference 2023 in Kumasi, Ghana on October 19th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This year, we are bringing together professionals, industry experts, and business leaders to explore the latest HR trends. Our theme is Transforming HR, Innovation, Technology, and Future Trends. We are honored to have distinguished guests, including Honorable Kingsley Nyako and Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, as well as a lineup of esteemed speakers. Don't miss this enriching experience that will elevate your HR expertise. Admission is free. Contact us at 0244-629-245 or send us mail at patricia.kissy@sedatconsultlimited.com for more information. Sponsorship opportunities are available. Sedat Consult, your trusted HR partner.